Hello everyone. So today we are going to start a very important topic about the nitration of phenol. But before going to the nitration of phenol, I would like to discuss about certain things of electrophilic substitution reaction. Why it takes place and how it takes place, you have to see this. Now see, this is phenol, yes or no? This is phenol. Okay. As we know, this phenol is an electron rich because it has a maximum pi electron also. So it is a pi electron rich compound, first point. Pi electron rich compound. Yes or no? Now see, when this H plus is removed, so what will happen? Okay, so there are two things. First thing, they are pi electron rich compound. Yes or no? They are pi electron rich compound and it will show the resonance. We have seen in the last class. It will also see the resonance, means second point is it will show the plus R effect. It will show what? Plus R effect. So this ring is highly stable. Okay, na? Due to which it is stable. When it is a pi electron rich compound, plus R effect, due to which it is stable, so the upcoming group will be substituted. Okay, so means here, see, if I want to do the reaction with this phenol, so there are two cases. Either the upcoming electrophile will have to do two things. Either the reaction will take place of addition reaction. Understand this. This is very important, very tough. Electrophile will do here addition reaction, and or it has to do substitution reaction. Substitution reaction. Okay, there are two possibilities. If electrophiles wants to join with this phenol, so it on any position will come. Which position will come, I will tell you. But if electrophile wants to come and do the reaction, so there are two type of a reaction is possible. Either addition reaction will possible or substitution reaction will possible. If I want to do the addition reaction, I have to break this pi bond. So this bond should be broken. If I want to do the addition reaction, pi bond should get break. Pi bond should get break. Yes or no? And if I want to do the substitution reaction, so now this is an electrophile, so electrophile will substitute an electrophile. So which kind of substitution reaction will take place? Electrophilic substitution reaction. Yes or no? So either addition reaction will take place or electrophilic substitution reaction will take place. For the addition reaction, I have to pi bond should get break, then only electron will get add. If pi is getting break, so here one vacancy will be created and that vacancy will be generally gained by this electrophile. So such a type of a reaction we say as an addition reaction. Or another possibility is what? Electrophilic substitution reaction. It means what? So E plus will substitute H plus. Which H plus? H plus on ortho or on para or on meta. So E plus will substitute H plus. Yes or no? So if substitution reaction takes place, then the upcoming electrophile should substitute H plus on the given position, ortho, meta or para. Next, if addition reaction takes place, the pi bond should get break, and pi bond is getting break and a vacancy will be generated. On that vacancy, electrophile will get attached. So out of these two, who will take place? This will take place. This is not possible to take place. Why this is not possible to take place? As I told you, this is a pi electron rich compound and it will also show the plus R effect. Due to this plus R effect, this pi bond, alternate pi bond are highly stable. Due to this, the reaction is stable, which shows the stability. Due to which this ring is highly stable, means phenoxide ion is highly stable. Due to the high stability, this pi bond cannot be broken. When pi bond cannot be broken, addition reaction is not taking place. Addition reaction will not take place. Which reaction will take place? Electrophilic substitution reaction will only take place. So whenever electrophile is coming to do the reaction with phenol, which kind of reaction will take place? Electrophilic substitution reaction will take place. Means a electrophile will substitute other electrophile. Means here E plus will substitute H plus to do the reaction. So when E plus is coming here on ortho or on meta or on para, H plus has to go. So E plus is coming, so H plus is going. So H plus is substituted for E plus. That's why we say as a electrophilic substitution reaction. Clear? So whenever an electrophile reaction is occurring in the phenol, so which kind of reaction is that? Electrophilic substitution reaction is there. It's not an addition reaction, because for the addition reaction there has to create one vacancy on ortho, meta or para. So for creating the vacancy I have to break this pi bond, but here pi bond breaking is highly difficult because this ring is highly stable. Why it is highly stable? Two things, they are pi electron rich compound and they show plus R effect, due to which they show the resonance, and resonance makes this ring stable, hence the breaking of this pi bond is highly not possible. That's why in the last class we have seen we were used to remove the H plus and aromaticity was gaining back. It was not possible to take out the aromaticity because you have to give the aromaticity back. To give the aromaticity back or to give this pi electron back, H plus should be removed. So same logic is applied here. Here H plus is removed to attach E plus. So here electrophilic substitution will take place. That's why here electrophilic substitution will take place, not the addition reaction. Clear? Point number 2. Now E plus should come where? As we have seen in the last class, when I have shown the resonance structure of this phenoxide ion, the minus charge was seen on the ortho and para position only. It was not on the meta position. So whenever electrophilic substitution reaction will take place of the phenol, whenever the substitution reaction will take place of the phenol, so there will be only two positions will be acquired. Either it will be on ortho or either it will be on para. It cannot be on meta. Who is telling us? The resonance structure of the phenoxide ion. We have seen the resonance structure of the phenoxide ion. This was shifting here, then minus charge shown here. Then when you see the full complete resonance structure of a phenoxide ion, you will observe that minus charge is seen either on ortho or on para. So as compared to here on this ring, this position related to this OH is known as a ortho. This position related to OH is known as a meta. This position related to OH is known as a para. Similarly, this position related to OH is known as a ortho. This position related to this OH is known as a meta. Now I have told you the position, okay. So this position is also known as a ortho. So either E will attach here or E will attach here, one and same. Both positions are ortho. But E plus can never attach on M. Why it cannot attach on M? Who tells us? Resonance structure of the phenoxide ion tells us that minus charge are not seen on the meta position, hence electrophilic substitution reaction will not take place on meta position. Either it will take place on ortho position or on para position. That's why either I will get ortho position or either I will get para position on electrophilic substitution reaction of phenol. Clear? Understood the position, why or not on meta, why on ortho and para only. So these are the certain basic before going to do the nitration reaction. Now one more question is coming in the picture. This is known as a ortho position. This is known as a para position. Now sometimes they are asking the question, who will be major compound and who will be the minor compound. Now see here, if the electrophilic substitution reaction, if this electrophile have a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding, if this electrophile have a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding with phenol, then ortho will be major and para will be minor. Clear? So if E plus, okay, has capacity to do hydrogen bonding with OH, ortho will be major. Okay, if this E, which E? The E which is attached to the ortho position, the E which is attached to the ortho position, E which is attached to the ortho position, if it has a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding with OH, then ortho will be major and para will be minor, and para is minor. Please understand this. Next point, I write down here, if E plus has no capacity to do H bonding with OH, means what? If the E electrophile which is present here, if it cannot do the hydrogen bonding with this OH, then ortho will be minor and para will be major. So if E plus has a no capacity to do H bonding with OH, then ortho is minor and para is major. Why so? This also I will tell you. See, if E is present here, if it has a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding with E and OH, means if there is a hydrogen bonding present between O and H, so this compound will be stable. When this compound is stable due to H bonding, ortho position will be more stable. So it will be major and then it will be minor because there is no H bonding here. If there is no capacity to do the hydrogen bonding, so when E is present here, so this compound will be unstable due to absence of hydrogen bonding. Yes or no? Repulsion will cause here. So then para will be stable because para will be stable due to its symmetry. So if there is a possible of doing the hydrogen bonding, between the electrophile and OH, if hydrogen bonding is possible between E and OH, if it is possible, then only ortho compound will be major and para compound will be minor. In this way only you remember. If there is not possible of doing the hydrogen bonding between the E and OH, so if there is no hydrogen bonding, this whole compound will be unstable. So ortho will be minor and para will be major due to symmetry. Are you understanding or not? Clear this part? Write down this. Clear? So if E plus has a capacity to do the H bonding with OH, ortho will be major and para is minor. If E plus has no capacity to do the H bonding with OH, then ortho is minor and para is major due to symmetry. Just you write down this, take a screenshot, then I will move to the further. So clear? So if this E has a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding, then this compound will be stable. When this compound will be stable, so ortho will be having the major and minor and para will be the minor. If this E has no capacity to do the hydrogen bonding, when there is no capacity to do hydrogen bonding, so para will be major, ortho will be minor. Now why is it so? There is also one more logic you can say. See, when E cannot do the hydrogen bonding with this OH, so there will be a steric hindrance. So here steric hindrance is maximum. When the steric hindrance is maximum here, this compound will be unstable, so ortho will be minor. Now see here this E, when there is this E is very far away from OH, so there is a less steric hindrance. When there is a less steric hindrance between this E and OH, so less steric hindrance means more stability. That's why para compound will be major when they do not have a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding. Understood? See, there is a steric hindrance between E and OH because it is near to the OH, but this E, if it is a capacity to do the bonding, when bond is possible, that is hydrogen bonding is possible, the steric hindrance automatically will get reduced. When steric hindrance get reduced, ortho will be major. When E has a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding. If E has no capacity to do the hydrogen bonding, so steric hindrance will play an important role and steric hindrance will increase, so this compound will become unstable, so ortho will be minor, similarly para will be major, so less steric hindrance. So whenever you are giving the steric hindrance reason, see there are two reasons I can explain, who will be major and who will be minor. First reason is with hydrogen bonding and always you understand with hydrogen bonding, but when there is a technical reason also, that is a steric hindrance. See, first I will give the reason of hydrogen bonding. If E has a capacity to do the hydrogen bonding with OH, so there will be presence of hydrogen bonding, so hydrogen bonding takes place, the compound becomes stable, ortho will be major, para will be minor. Next, if E has no capacity to do the hydrogen bonding, so here steric hindrance will be increased. When steric hindrance increase, this compound become unstable, so ortho will be minor. Whereas in para, E is far away from OH, so there is less steric hindrance. When there is a less steric hindrance, so less the steric hindrance, more the stability, so para compound will be major. So there are two reasons, either you explain with the hydrogen bonding or you explain with the steric hindrance. It depends on you. Clear this part? Understood? So whenever electrophile comes, whenever the electrophilic substitution reaction comes or electrophilic substitution reaction takes place of phenol, there are two positions always acquired, ortho and para, not the meta. Why not the meta? You understood? Because in the resonance structure we have seen that minus charge is appearing only on ortho and para. And who will be minor and who will be major? You understood? It depends on the hydrogen bonding. If there is no hydrogen bonding, check it out the steric hindrance. Clear? In ortho, steric hindrance is maximum. At that time, ortho product will be minor and para will be major due to symmetry or due to less steric hindrance. Clear this part? So next, I will go with the nitration of phenol. Then we will see certain 2-3 questions. So now we will see the nitration of phenol. You take phenol. Then you take dilute HNO3. Don't take concentrated. You take dilute HNO3 plus dilute concentrated H2SO4. Clear? Now see a student, this HNO3 will provide us one positive ion, that is known as a NO2 plus, which is known as a nitronium ion. Nitronium ion. Clear? So this will be provided as NO2 ion. Okay. So see what happens. As we know, it will provide us what? NO2 plus. It will provide us what? NO2 plus. So this NO2 plus either will go to the ortho or para. So here H plus should be removed. NO2 plus comes here, H plus should be removed, or NO2 plus should come here, H plus will be removed. That's what we call as a electrophilic substitution reaction. Now see here. So this is an HNO3. This is an HNO3. Sorry. This is an HNO3. So HNO3 is like this, OH and NO2. Yes or no? Out of this NO2 I have taken NO2 plus and remaining is what? OH minus. Yes or no? So when NO2 plus comes here, what will be removed? H plus will be removed. That H plus will react with this OH minus and forms what? Water. And here the position will be either ortho plus para. First mixture will take place. So we call this as O-nitrophenol and this we call as a P-nitrophenol. Write down. Understood? So O-nitrophenol and P-nitrophenol will be formed. Now what I will do? Again I will react with this. So there is a mixture here formed. Now this mixture I will tell how to separate O-nitrophenol and P-nitrophenol. I will tell you this. First we will see the reaction. Again you do the reaction with concentrated HNO3 and H2SO4. Okay. Sorry, you take here dilute HNO3 and concentrated H2SO4. Always follow dilute HNO3 only. When I take concentrated HNO3, what will take place? I will tell you. So here you will get OH and here you will get combination, that is NO2, and here also you will get NO2. So this is nothing but 2,4-dinitrophenol. Why? 2,4 so 2,4-dinitrophenol. Ortho-para compound will be generated here. Mixture. Clear? Again you do nitration and here also there will be removal of water. Whenever you do the nitration, there will be a removal of water, that is fixed, you have to understand. Again you do nitration. So again I will take what? Dilute HNO3 plus concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, heating is required, here also heating is required, here also heating is required. Okay, and again there will be removal of water here. So in each and every step, whenever you are doing the nitration, there will be removal of water. You have studied in the hydrocarbon also. So what will take place? Here the difference will be, here will be OH, here will be NO2, here will be NO2 and here will be O2N. So it is nothing but 2,4,6 trinitro. 1, see here, this is 1, no? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2,4,6 trinitrophenol. In hydrocarbon we have studied 2,4,6 trinitrotoluene, TNT. And here we are studying 2,4,6 trinitrophenol, and the IUPAC name is picric acid. Clear? And if you want to prepare directly, picric acid from the phenol, so there is a one technique. You use fuming nitric acid at nearly temperature 384 Kelvin. Now see here you have to use 3 moles. How many moles you have to use? 3 moles. So see, 1 moles of NO2 comes here. See here, 1 moles of NO2 comes here, 1 H will come out, so 1 OH. So how many water will be there? 1 water. Then another NO2 comes here, so 1 more OH will come out, so 1 H will be there, so 1 more water, so 2 water. Again third mole, so third NO2 will come here, so third H plus will be come out, and third OH minus also will come out, so 3H2O. Okay, so totally 3H2 will be removed if you use directly, if you want to form the directly picric acid, if you want to form directly picric acid from the phenol, or directly nitration if you want to prepare directly 2,4,6 trinitrophenol, so you have to use fuming nitric acid and you will hit nearly 384 Kelvin. Clear? This is nothing but your nitration of phenol. Understood how this nitric acid is producing NO2 plus ion? NO2 plus ion is known as a nitronium ion. And this also preparation sir would have shown. It is based on H2SO4. You have to do the reaction between H2SO4 and HNO3. I am not wasting my time. You can solve off yourself. You can do it. Clear? So understand that whenever you are doing the nitration, so HNO3 is producing NO2 plus ion. Clear? Take a screenshot. 2-3 questions I will tell you. Taken screenshot? Taken. Now see here. See this ortho and para nitrophenol. So actually here we are obtaining in mixture. Now we will discuss about this thing. Now how to separate the ortho and para nitrophenol. So to separate, understand this point, okay. So to separate O nitrophenol, here there is a mixture, no, but if I want separately O nitrophenol and P nitrophenol, what to do? See here. To separate O nitrophenol and P nitrophenol, we are doing distillation process. We are using what? Distillation process we are doing. Clear? What is mean distillation? See, distillation means there is a one here, I will put here O nitrophenol, and I will put here P nitrophenol, and I will start to heat. Okay. This is water jacket. What happens, you know? See, O nitrophenol boiling point is less than P nitrophenol boiling point. This is very important. O nitrophenol boiling point will be less than that of a P nitrophenol. So when O nitrophenol boiling point is less, so this boiling point is less and the boiling point of P nitrophenol is very more. So here requires more energy and here requires a less energy. So what will happen? If O nitrophenol boiling point is suppose 60 degrees Celsius and P nitrophenol should be more, say 70 degrees Celsius. So if I start to heat, so in starting of heating, what will happen? First 10 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree, 40 degree, 50 degree. As it comes to 60 degree, heat comes to 60 degree. So this O nitrophenol, as the temperature we have supposed, it is not correct answer, it is wrong answer, but supposing that as we start to heat, so first whose value will come? 60 degree, 70 degree, first 60 degree will come. So this O nitrophenol will start to evaporate it will start to evaporate and vapor will come here. Here there is a cold water, so here water will be there. So this vapor will be getting cooled down and here it will be separated. What it is separating? Here O-nitrophenol will get. O-nitrophenol you will get. Here you will get what? O-nitrophenol. Because as O-nitrophenol boiling point is less than that of a P-nitrophenol, so on heating, first O-nitrophenol will be separated, leaving behind what? P-nitrophenol. So in this process, what we are doing now, we understood that O-nitrophenol and P-nitrophenol boiling point is differ. So we are applying the distillation technique. This is nothing but a distillation process. In distillation process, what we are doing? We are putting the mixture of a solution mixture we are putting, knowing that one of the boiling point is less than that of another. So one whose boiling point is less than that of another, so on heating, the lesser boiling point compound will be removed, leaving behind the larger boiling point compound. So lesser boiling point compound will be removed first, leaving behind the larger boiling compound. So I have separated O-nitrophenol and P-nitrophenol in this way by using the distillation process. Now the question comes, sir, why O-nitrophenol boiling point is less than that of a P-nitrophenol? You see this. This is very important. Understood this? Take a screenshot. Clear? So now write down one question. See, we will see this. The question says, why this wire is making me so much hectic, I am frustrated sometimes. Why O-nitrophenol is having less boiling point than P-nitrophenol? See here students, it's very simple. See, suppose if I take one container, in this one container I will fill number of O-nitrophenol and in this one another container I will fill number of P-nitrophenol. So see what happens if I take O-nitrophenol, suppose I am taking 2 units. So O-nitrophenol, this is OH, this is N, double bond O and here O. One more unit I will take, OH, this is N, double bond O, this is NO2 only, no beta. Here, so I am taking this container of an O-nitrophenol. And here I am containing as P-nitrophenol. See this. OH, NO2. OH, NO2. Now see, what will happen, see there will be an intramolecular hydrogen bonding between there, this ONH, here ONH, but there will be no bonding between the two different other molecules. See, there is a bonding between, this is nothing but an intramolecular hydrogen bonding. See, this is O-nitrophenol, OH and double bond O and O. So if the hydrogen bonding takes place within the molecule, so it is known as an intramolecular hydrogen bonding, intramolecular H bonding. And if the hydrogen bonding takes place between two molecules like this, see this. This is OH and this is NO2. Okay, similarly, or I can write down this. Okay, similarly, this is another. Now, instead, if I write down in this way also one and same, no beta. This is also P-nitrophenol. So, what will happen? There is hydrogen bonding between these two. Or if you are not understanding, okay, no problem. Another molecule of P-nitrophenol I will take. So, there is a bonding. Similarly, some other bonding also will be there. Okay. So, what it is observed? It is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular H bonding. So, what do you observe? When a bonding takes place within the molecule, it is intramolecular hydrogen bonding, and when a hydrogen bonding takes place between two or more molecules, same kind, it is known as inter. So, this is intermolecular hydrogen bonding because it is taking place between two molecules of same kind, and it is the intramolecular hydrogen bonding because it is taking place between the same kind of molecule. So in O-nitrophenol, there is an intramolecular hydrogen bonding. In O-nitrophenol, there is a intramolecular hydrogen bonding, means there is no bonding present between the two molecules. There is the bonding present between each own molecule only. So there is no presence, no bond present between the molecules. Between the molecules. Because they are busy with itself only. So they do not have a time to do the bond with other molecule. Whereas in p-nitrophenol, there is a hydrogen bonding between the molecules. See, this is O2. See, this N, double bond O, and this is O. And I'll put here OH. See, there is a bonding between the different kind of molecules. So similar, this H also will be third molecule. Okay, so I will say that bond is present. Bond is present between the molecules. So bond is present between the molecules. Now see here bond is not present between the molecules because there is intramolecular hydrogen bonding, and bond is present between the molecules because there is an intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So here each molecule is associated with other molecule, and here each molecule is not associated with other molecule. Now you tell me where the more energy is required to break a bond, here or here? If I start to hit here, automatically each molecules are not in connect with other molecule. So here evaporation will take place easily. Whereas here to evaporate, first this bond should be broken and then this molecule will get evaporate. Here there is no bond present between the molecules. So there is no bond present between the molecules. So directly this molecule, each molecule only will get evaporate. But whereas there is a presence of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So first this bond is required to break and then the p-nitrophenol will evaporate. So here two forces, here two times heat is required. First heat is required to break this bond, intermolecular hydrogen bond, and another heat is required to evaporate the p-nitrophenol. Whereas there is no bond present between the molecules, so there is only one kind of heat is required just to evaporate the O-nitrophenol. So where the more heat is required, in p-nitrophenol more heat is required. When p-nitrophenol more heat is required, due to which the p-nitrophenol boiling point is more than that of an O-nitrophenol. Clear? So that's why the p-nitrophenol is having the more boiling point than O-nitrophenol, because in p-nitrophenol there is a presence of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, whereas in O-nitrophenol there is a presence of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Hence energy required to break a bond in p-nitrophenol will be more as compared to the O-nitrophenol. Due to this reason, p-nitrophenol boiling point is more than that of an O-nitrophenol. That's why there is a difference between boiling point of p-nitrophenol and O-nitrophenol. That's why we are using the distillation technique to separate these two components. Clear? So whose boiling point is more, p-nitrophenol, O-nitrophenol? P-nitrophenol boiling point is more as compared to O-nitrophenol, because in p-nitrophenol, due to presence of intermolecular hydrogen bonding present between the molecule, requires more energy to break a bond rather than the O-nitrophenol, because there is an intramolecular hydrogen bonding present within the molecule, and there is no bond present between the molecule, hence requires less energy. So see, this is known as an intramolecular hydrogen bonding. The hydrogen bonding present within the molecule, and this is the intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the hydrogen bonding present between the same kind of number of molecules. Here within the molecule, between the molecules. Clear? So this is nothing but your nitration of phenol. Take a screenshot. In next class I will go with the next topic. Thank you.